Okay. Assalamualaikum. Very good day. So guys, for today's lesson, we are going to learn about first derivative of a function involving quotient of algebraic expression. So when we talk about quotient, we need to have our function in terms of quotient. So before we learn on how to apply the formula, we need to know how the formula is being formed. So we need to derive the quotient rule formula. So basically, if we have u is equals to fx and v equals to gx, so our equation is y equals to u over v. So we can see here this is quotient form. Okay. So previously we have learned on first principle concept. So in first principle, each term for y and x, we need to add it with its small changes. So y need to be added with delta y and x need to be added with delta x. So the same goes with this equation. So each term for y, u and v, we need to add it with its small changes. So y will be added with delta y, u will be added with delta u, and v will be added with delta v. So this is our second equation. Since we are talking about derivation, we need to find dy dx. So in this case, we need to relate it with delta y, delta x. So how can we find delta y first? In order for us to find delta y, we need to subtract equation 2 with equation 1. So delta y is equal to u plus delta u over v plus delta v minus u over v. So we have fractions with operation subtraction. So first find the common denominator. So delta y is equals to v times u plus delta u minus u times v plus delta v over v times v plus delta v. Next, what are we going to do? We need to expand the numerator. So delta y is equals to uv plus v delta u minus uv minus u delta v over v plus delta v. So from here we can see that we can cancel out uv will be 0. So delta y is equals to v delta u minus u delta v over v times v plus delta v. So this is delta y. We need to find delta y, delta x. So what are we going to do? We need to divide both sides with delta x. So we will have delta y, delta x equals to v delta u, delta x minus u delta v, delta x over v plus delta v. So when we have our delta y, delta x, relate it with limit. So when limit delta x approaching 0, delta y, delta x. So basically we have when limit delta x approaching 0, v delta u over delta x minus u delta v, delta x, delta u, delta x over v times v plus delta v. So limit delta x approaching 0, okay, v limit delta x approaching 0 for delta u, delta x minus limit limit delta x approaching 0 for v minus limit delta x approaching 0 for u delta v, delta x over when limit delta x approaching 0 v plus delta v. So as delta x approaching 0, we need to know that delta u will also approach to